I had a great Cinco de Mayo breakfast.
Ooh, what'd you have?
Green chili. I had green chili stuff. So green chili over eggs, green chili over tots, green chili with a little side of green chili. So very Denver Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
And then a lovely spaghetti dinner.
It's like fucking Alice Pancake World. You know, they serve the best Chinese food. But
Totally.
we had brunch yesterday with some friends and family, and red chili was what happened on our eggs.
Chili.
Red
like
chili.
Texas red chili?
I don't know. It was like, it might have been
like
New Mexico red chili, and it was fucking delicious. It was really good. In fact, got a little to-go bucket of that, and I'm actually going to take a bath in it after we're done recording this bad boy.
Hell yeah.
Because
it fixes arthritis. Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it. I don't know if that's true, but I keep trying.
I'm just trying to alkalize my body so my arthritis doesn't act up. So may the 4th be with you and also with you.
Yes, happy Dave Brubeck Day.
Happy Dave Brubeck, Star Wars Day. My son and girlfriend made a point yesterday of, the day after Star Wars Day, May the 5th, is Revenge of the 5th, right? And they're both like, but shouldn't it be Revenge of the 6th? Because doesn't that like semantically make more sense? And I'm like, I didn't fucking start it, but yeah, you're right. It kind of does.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, so we've taken a vote on it, and that motion passed. Motion carried.
Yes, a motion carried. Yeah. I agree.
Did you do anything fun for Derby Day?
I watched a little bit of the Derby. I just saw the race.
Yeah.
But no, not really. I came around in the evening and got into the Dua Lipa thing.
Oh yeah,
on Saturday Night Live, which was really good.
Have you listened to her new stuff?
I've heard like 4 tracks off of it. I haven't heard everything.
I haven't listened yet. Do you have?
I heard it just dropped. So
yeah. Did you? Do you have any opinions?
Yeah, there are a few opinions that I had on. Well, first of all, on her, I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, agreed.
What I was basically saying to somebody, and I think I'll just repeat it here, is that so Taylor is going to be in the stadiums this summer, and Dua will be in the clubs. Yeah, it is a club album. Yeah, it is a fantastic. The tracks I've heard are great for, gay clubs, dance clubs, Euro clubs. Like it is very much I can't wait until the suds start dropping kind of record.
Awesome.
And she's great for that. Yeah. I mean, and that's where she should be. She's 27, 28, something like that. And she is right in that wheelhouse. I also find her trajectory right now is really cool. Like her first album was basically like, I'm here, I'm a diva, I'm a goddess. Yeah. I think this is her third. Yeah. And her second one was basically like, you're not treating me right. Yeah. And I'm going to go out to the club and I meet somebody and we're going to be levitating. And, if you don't want to see me, don't come out tonight, because I'm out and I'm big and proud and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And this album has a whole lot of like, a great natural trajectory of growth. Yeah. Which is basically like, we didn't work out, but I wish the best for you. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's nice the way that it's worked for her, like personally and professionally. That's the way the arc, from a publisher standpoint, I will tell you, major publishers do think this way too. But you think about artists in that way, especially young artists, that there's going to be a personal trajectory of songwriting. Yes. And it will be very natural where your fans, being the same age, will be young and brash and wild and out and about and doing drugs and having fun. Yeah. And then they'll get into a relationship and get their heart broken, and I'll get that album. Yeah. And then after that, they will have a little bit of personal growth and be like, I'm just finding me right now. And I'm happy for you. It just wasn't for us. Yeah. And I wish you and her well, or, whatever. And she has followed exactly that template, which is natural. Yeah. I don't think this is like an industry plant thing. Yeah. But I also think she's a fucking superstar. I mean, we'll talk about Argyle probably a little bit here.
Yeah.
But her being an Argyle, the camera loves her, obviously.
Yeah.
Instagram camera as well.
Yeah.
But here's what I found funny. So she did double duty
on Saturday Night Live.
SNL.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a younger person that was basically like trying to point out to me that Dua Lipa is bigger than Taylor Swift. And I was like, just stop it. We don't need to go that. I like you too much. We don't need to argue about such things.
Don't make me kill you.
But yeah, and she's younger. And so she was like, there's only been a few people who've ever done double duty on Saturday Night Live. And I don't think you know about that. I mean, like, you know, like Billie Eilish just did it, and Bad Bunny, Halsey, and of course Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, of course.
But there hasn't been that many who have done it, and that's why she's a major superstar. And I had to prove to her that, in fact, 47 people have done it.
Okay.
Starting with Paul fucking Simon, who was the first to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and there was Randy Newman and a few other people on there, but yeah, Paul Simon and like Desi Arnaz did it, Chris Christopherson, the Stones, Frank Zappa. I mean, the list goes. If you know anything about a little bit of history, and even if you want to come up, you know, a little bit later, you can get to like MC Hammer and Deion Sanders and Garth Brooks and of course Britney. Britney was famously probably the biggest pop star that did it. Like Garth I guess would have been, but Britney was just like a major pop star that did it.
Yeah.
Janet did it, Queen Latifah, Ludacris, of course.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift did it many years ago, 2009, which I had to like kind of tell this gal that I was like, you know, Taylor did it.
Yeah.
Like a little while ago, like 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, she did it like, like when she was 20. Like, you know, so, you know, and of course Bieber and all those, but there's a whole list that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I thought Billie Eilish did well, but anyway, Dua did a great job. I watched it. I thought she did a really good job poking fun at the industry. About like rap chicks singing in the back of a track. That was funny. I thought she did really well. The songs were okay. Those weren't the two big songs that I know from the record. Training Season is over, and Houdini, which was the lead track off this record. But not only did she do the show and then did the double duty, and I thought she did good. You know, the writing is kind of rough this year. But it was a solid show. But then she stayed in New York and did a surprise show. I heard from someone who was there. She did a surprise show in Times Square on Sunday night.
Nice. That's super,
in the rain.
Whoa, shit.
Yeah, so like she fucking did New York.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And she's in this big album launch thing, but she she did a good job.
That's cool. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like that took some planning. Are you listening, everybody? It took some planning. It was probably planned a year ago. She
also, from my understanding, from my little birdies, got a little drunk and they had a little karaoke at the after party.
Excellent.
SNL has infamous after parties that go until 5 a.m.
Yep.
And they all had a little bit of fun, and she is a pro drinker.
Thank God.
If you get a chance, if you're interested in Dua Lipa at all, I would say, and especially if you're like, I don't know, not my kind of thing, not my kind of music, search Day Drinking with Seth Meyers.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It is so good. You will fall in love with her as a person.
Yeah.
Like she's the kind of chick that I think, and I was telling someone this the other night, she's the kind of person I think that sneaks away from her security with her girls and goes to like a shitty Brooklyn bar. You know, and like puts on a hat and puts her hair up and like, you know,
hat and sunglasses
speaks with an accent.
Yes. Well, she already has an accent.
But I mean with like a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. Give me shots.
You know, so no one knows who she is.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic.
But I think she's a real one. I think she's a cool chick.
Yeah.
And she can also pull off the diva thing pretty well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, I thumbs up. I thought it was good.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. I'm going to get into it.
Do you like the record?
I haven't heard any of it yet. I've heard Houdini, and I like that a lot. But I have not heard any of the subsequent tracks. So, but yeah, it's I enjoy her. She's got a thing that she does. You're right. She's got a thing that she does.
She has a hip
and
shake.
either you dig that thing or you don't dig that thing. You know.
Yeah.
And I happen to dig that thing.
Yes, she also is. She is performing for the camera.
Yes.
She knows the camera's there at all times.
There's a camera?
And,
oh my goodness.
My perfect side. And look at this, like my leg coming out exactly how it should. I mean, she's very much like an Instagram chick. Like, I think even just standing there, she knows how to actually stand there.
Yeah.
And people give her shit all the time for her Instagram because it looks like Dua Lipa is on vacation always. Yeah. She, like, her Instagram is nothing but Dua Lipa on a beach, or near a beach, reading by a beach, by a pool. And it's,
fuck yeah, I want that.
But yeah, like, that's an okay aesthetic. Yeah. I'm all right with that.
I want to do that. I would like in the coming years. If you follow Stu Miller on the Instagram, that is what you're going to see. Me in various states of undress, sitting on a beach, reading a fucking book. And I will not be showing my good side.
And she has a pretty good, like, European kind of tour that she's working on. She's doing Berlin and Croatia and France and Belgium and Poland, and, you know, like, I don't know. I'm not sure if she's going to be doing America on this run early, but the album's called Radical Optimism. It's pretty good. Look, it's good pop dance music. Yeah. And again, like, if you're into club music, this is going to be banger shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be in there.
Yeah. You know, like, she was in the Barbie movie with that, you know, Dance the Night track. She's in Argyle. Does she have a track on that soundtrack? I can't remember.
No,
I don't think
that's
so.
The thing is, I didn't hear a track from hers on it.
Which, I mean, like,
but she looked great in it.
Yeah, it was really fun. Anyway, cool. But
disco.
Yes, it was it's an enjoyable adventure. I'm going to get into that track today. I'm in the middle of a third record right now. I've got 3 going on right now, and I had somebody send me a bunch of tracks this week and say, "Tell me what you think."
What do you think?
What do you think? And then of course we get into the review process of, like, okay, so what do you want out of this? Well, I don't know. Yeah. I'd like more streams. I'd like to get more fans, and then I start beating my head against the desk. And you know, it's like I feel like I've been hanging out with you too much, but
you have. You should be careful. You should hang out with more optimists.
I mean, I might,
or just realize that I'm right. And
I do have a mug that says "Eternal
That's what
Optimist."
People come back to me with often, like months and months later. You know what? You were right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I know. I'm not doing it because I'm right or because I want to be right. We're trying to help.
Yeah. Well, but again, the question always comes up, why do I need to do this? Well, if you're asking for my opinion and I say this is the way to do that because here's the reasons, and then you ask me again, why do I do this? You're not going to do it. I already know the answer, and that's okay. But then when you come back to me later and go, why didn't this work? I'm going to point you to the conversation where we had deep, detailed outline on what you should do and then what you did do.
Which they didn't listen to.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
It's not
hey, you got on stage this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah. We had
played with some old friends.
I did.
I saw that.
I had.
Is that at Little Bear?
That was
I could tell by the bras.
Yeah, there was bras hanging from the ceiling. Little Bear, legendary. It's under new management, I guess. A different management again, or original management. I can't remember. It was really fun. I haven't been up there. I did a show with another old friend of ours years ago. It wasn't a public show. It was like a private video thing we did up there. So the only time I've ever played there was with him a long time ago, and this was our friends in Something Underground. They haven't played together in a while, and obviously
it was like a comeback show.
Yeah, they were really great, and it was a really, really fun night, and enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, I got to get up there and play some Johnny Cash with them, and it was really, really, really fun. They did they dropped all of the funky disco hits. you know.
Trevor, when the guitarist goes, that's it.
Yes. Well, to be fair, when I do it, when I do it in my trio with Trevor, the drummer for Something Underground, I extend the ending.
Oh shit! Okay,
so he was
that
right. Wasn't on the set list. That was added because I was standing. And here's the thing: is I do not go to shows and go, ask me up. Let me play. Now I do have a degree of like it's like watching the other kids play at recess because it like looks fun. There's probably a crowd of people having fun. I'm like, I want to play with my friends, but I don't go to the show with the expectation of they're going to ask me up, you know. But like so they kind of threw this in so I could get up there and play with them, which was really cool. I would also like to point out the two brothers Seth and Josh Larson who front Something Underground. They have not aged. They are, like I remember like some of the promo photos when they were getting shopped for some label deals years ago. I mean, they take Josh, the bass player, because he is a statuesque god of a man. His jawline is razor sharp. He turned it around too fast. 7 people in the front row were decapitated. It was just that
head cutter.
Yeah. I mean, they sounded fantastic. And then at the end, they invited their dad up, who they used to sing with in church, and their mom, and I think one of their cousins got up there, and our friend Angie Stevens, who I play with as well, was up there, and they sang Hallelujah, the Leonard Cohen, Jeff Buckley, Rufus Wainwright vehicle. It's been covered a billion times. And they did it with their parents. And before that, they did a song that their dad wrote for them, and we're just standing there like having like this moment of just basking in the just pure sweetness of this moment with these people that really don't age and, still sound amazing, still play amazing. And yeah, it was really fun.
That's great.
I really, really love that kind of stuff. And, I'm all about...
I always love the Larson Bros.
We're all about the squishies around here. What can I say?
Yeah.
Well, totally.
I am. No, I am. Yeah. I'm with you though. When I go to a show like that, I think I finally have like trained people that like I used to go, God, I hope they don't ask me up to sing something,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I am absolutely on the other side of that as some people are like, God, I hope I can get up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you're working. I'm here to watch you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not working tonight.
I'm happy to get up if somebody asks me, but I don't go there with the expectation of that because again, the same thing. I worked Friday night. I worked for 3.5, 4 hours on Friday night. And so that means I worked for 6 or 7 hours on Friday night, And so like I don't.
Well, and I know that trick from a vocalist standpoint.
Yeah.
Like when I used to run open stages back in the day, if you got a ringer in the room, you bring them up and shower them with praise, because you know what that means. You don't have to sing 3 songs. And so, like from a singer standpoint, it's like, here's the stage, ladies and gentlemen, welcome whomever, and like you're like, now I can drink in the back, do my little background vocal, and let them take over the room, and they get to get their balls off, and
get their balls
or whatever,
off.
their boobs off.
Get their lady balls off.
See, I'm horrible. No, I know. I shouldn't be misogynistic.
I don't think that was misogynistic.
No, I don't think so.
Balls and
but
lady balls.
It
that
may
works.
be. Who knows?
It's fine.
Lady balls.
It works.
Ladies got balls too.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think the intent of the statement speaks for itself. So it was okay.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, but I think you should be, especially if you know who the band is.
Yeah.
If you're here, and by the way, this is a different thing if you're coming up young and hungry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're coming up young and hungry, get that stage time.
Yeah.
Get in there because, then the club owner may see you and be like, hey, you got a band?
I like the cut of your jib.
And then now you can book one,
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's part of it that's, but again, that requires a certain degree of, don't go into it unprepared. Be prepared to have something to give that person in that moment. That happens. Yeah. Make sure you have a bit. Do business cards even work anymore, do you think?
With the QR codes?
Maybe.
Kinda. It's coming back. The QR code. I keep telling people I'm seeing it more. Gen Z's open to it. And there are more people open to it because so many fucking menus are on QR codes.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, there are more people that are, especially the olds, like the Gen X and boomers, or, they're like, oh, what do you mean I got to take a picture of it? No, just open the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, now I got to push a button. What does that go to? Well, it goes to the website. Why didn't they just give me the fucking website? Well, because you can't type well.
Yeah, your eyes don't work.
That's why. Yeah. You blind motherfucker.
I love that you became Don Knotts. Oh, where's this QR code going?
Well, I didn't have a QR code. How would I know?
I'm looking at you from outside the window.
Let's make the show older and go back to Don Knotts.
Yeah, Don Knotts. We'll see ourselves out. The olds have outed themselves.
He's in black and white. Although, Private Eyes, they're watching you. Also in that.
Oh.
Harvey Korman, Don Knotts.
Oh, yes.
Also very old.
Yeah.
That is 40 years old. So, but, did you hear the new Daryl Hall song?
I did not. How is it?
It's weird because it's... I got into a huge conversation with it about it. With,
my.
Yeah, it's... First of all, I don't understand people coming out with mid-tempo openers.
Yeah.
For when an album's coming out. And it is very mid-tempo, relaxed.
Yeah.
It's produced with our friend Dave Stewart.
Oh, hell yes.
Co-produced.
Yeah.
I gave him a little note because I thought... I like that he's working with him because Dave Stewart loves Philly soul sound, and I don't think that he's ever co-produced with Daryl Hall, but I know that they've known each other.
Yeah.
And I've known Dave Stewart for a while, but he listen, at first I was like, this is kind of meh. Mm-hmm. It just rolls by. It's got one of those song structures that's really interesting. It starts with a chorus. Mm-hmm. But the chorus is not like a repeating chorus. So it's not like, I will always, I will always, I will always. It just has like a bunch of lines and then has like the tag.
Gotcha.
Actually, I should probably figure out the fucking name of it here as we talk about it. But it's called Can't Say No to You.
Yeah.
And the lyrics are... Okay, look, I've said it for a long time. Lyrics don't matter until they do.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know what to do. I can't say no to you. There's something I'm going through. There's things that I want to do. And I'd like the color blue. And like, okay, I get it. I get what you're doing. And that's basically what this song is.
Oh, dear.
But it's got a groove to it. Mm-hmm. It is kind of an earworm.
Okay.
And it's so laid back that like it kind of makes you listen to it twice.
Oh.
And I was telling somebody, so I'm sure it's an wholly unimpressive song when you listen to it for the first time.
Yeah.
However, you and I both know when you're working on a record and you've done it over and over and over, and like the next day you have to do overdubs.
Yeah.
And then the next day you end up like, oh, well, there's a little sweetening part I was thinking of on that part, and you go back in.
Yeah.
And you're hearing it looped over and over.
Yeah.
It becomes an earworm to you as the producer / musician songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So like for you, when you're going to sequence and figuring out what to put out, it may be stuck in your head. Yeah. Because you've heard it 27 times. And you're like, no, man, I think that's the best melody. I think that's an earworm song. It's got a hook to it. And I think that's what happened here.
No, interesting.
Because if you do listen to it 3 or 4 times, it does stick with you.
Interesting.
But like on the first shot, you're like, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. I think it's got... it's like 60,000 views now after the weekend on YouTube. So it's not burning up the charts, but not too bad.
But we don't expect Daryl Hall joint to really burn up the charts in that way, do we?
No. And he's got an album coming out. It's coming from the album. Look, Daryl Hall is a boomer.
Yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't get it, but the album is called D.
The letter D?
So go out and get that D. Yeah, he's slinging you some D. He won't get it, but it's called D.
Are they going to sink some D on the cock?
I just, I think the other thing is that Daryl Hall can tour Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
But John Oates can't tour Hall & Oates.
Yeah. Are they...
Like, when Daryl goes on the road, he can do those songs with his band.
Because he can sing all the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to be like, fuck that. There's no John.
Yeah.
I mean, fair or not, that's just the reality.
Speaking of John, are they still fighting over him selling his piece of the catalog? Do you know?
Yes, best I know, there's still a restraining order so that cannot get to Daryl Hall. And I get Daryl Hall's point of view about it. That like you and I are in business, and I don't want to be in business with somebody else who might fuck with my side of things, and. But John wants to sell he wants his money now. Yeah. He's J.D. Wentworth in it.
Just get out of my head.
Yeah.
I've got a shared catalog and I want cash now.
It's a shame but it also means there will never be another Hall & Oates reunion.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's over. There's too much bad blood now.
Yeah.
So I got to see the last tour.
Yeah.
But I also got to see it with T-Bone Walk.
Ooh, nice.
Well, he was still alive, and that was great.
Excellent. Well,
I don't know if GE played that tour too.
Ooh, excellent.
But it was like the full-on like Hall & Oates experience, which was great.
That's amazing. How long ago was that? Speaking of old,
about 10 years ago, probably. They played the Paramount.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was a great theater show.
Nice.
It was nice. Yeah, and the person I went with, she hadn't seen him ever, and I'd seen him back in the day.
Nice.
I'd actually seen them like in the 90s when it was not great.
Oh, back when they couldn't hear anything.
I wasn't old enough in the 80s really to see them, but I was a huge fan of Hall & Oates. But then in the 90s when they were kind of doing that summer tour thing of the hits, and then you go see them and you're like, yeah, they don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
And really, a lot of the younger people in the crowd didn't either. This is kind of like Lollapalooza days, like... This is not what you go to a concert for to see what would eventually be called yacht rock.
Yeah. Oh, I love the yacht rock.
So like at that time, it was not cool.
Yeah.
And then it became cool again, and then not cool, and now it's cool.
We had a friend of ours post the other day that he's finally he turned 40 and he finally understands the appeal of Christopher Cross.
Yeah. He's like, I get sailing, you guys. This is an amazing song.
Is brilliant. We were out singing the best that you can do the other night. The Arthur scene, which I still mean, like that is a brilliant. Speaking of the lyrics, don't matter until they matter. There's some really interesting choices, shall we say? In that
oh my God, so good.
All right,
let's go through.
Yeah,
them.
Go for it. Drop it.
Because I think it is fantastic. And by the way, this feeds into a little note that we have.
Yeah.
Spotify has moved lyrics behind the premium paywall.
Quietly without...
You don't pay, you don't get lyrics.
Yeah.
As an artist, you still got to put the lyrics on there.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do? Hold the lyrics back?
Yeah.
But also, you need to load them up to Music Match and to Genius. See our previous podcast.
Please, RE.
Yeah. Yeah, like even on the first verse, even though you left her way crosstown, crosstown, he couldn't be bothered to sing across.
Yeah.
But
his name isn't Christopher Cross. Can I get out of my fucking head?
Wondering to yourself, hey, what have I found?
Yeah.
That lyric, I would have just like laughed him out of the studio on that one.
Yeah. And then he would have sacrificed you to the goat, devil god that he has pledged his soul to for all of his success.
Verse 2, Arthur, he does what he pleases.
Yep.
All of his life, his master's toys. What? His master's toys. And by the way, he sings it. His master's toys. Mm-hmm. Deep in his heart, he's just a boy. He fucking repeats he's just twice there.
Mm-hmm. But let's be honest,
living
guys.
This day one day at a time and showing himself a pretty good time. He rhymed time with time.
That's like if we were talking about lyric books this week and songwriting books, and this is like isn't that like on page 1? don't do this.
Don't do this.
And yet here is Christopher Cross breaking the rules.
Meter.
Yeah.
Living his life one day at a time. He has to accentuate time, right? He's living his life one day at a time.
Yep, that's it.
And showing himself a pretty good time.
I mean, to be fair, like the context of
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then he rhymes way with they.
Yeah.
So he doesn't, it's called an internal rhyme when you do a line. If you want to get deep into songwriting here, you do a line within the line, right? So laughing about the way they want him to be.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because he doesn't do it elsewhere.
Yep. Yeah.
Like wondering to yourself, hey, what have I found? So that should have been wondering to yourself, hey. Like he didn't do it there. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it twice.
Yeah.
Like, all right. No one gives a fuck about this.
No, I care.
One
I care.
There's two songwriters that are like, wow, this is really interesting. Yeah. Tell me more about how Daryl Hall fucked up that song. Well, I'm glad that you asked. If you start a song with the chorus and then you go to the B section, and the B section is playing itself as a chorus, but the first section is actually the chorus. If that chorus is repeatable, say it's Can't Say No to You. Well, normally a repeatable chorus would be Can't Say No to You. Can't say no to you. Hey, can't say no to you. If you do that, when you get to the B section, you're going to have to write a whole fucking story in 4 lines. You can't do that. It's going to suck. Nobody can do that. Paul McCartney can't do that. You can't do that. You suck. You're not as good as Paul McCartney. None of us are. So when you do it, you have to do what's called an extenuated chorus as the first chorus. And so that's when you get into don't know what to do. Can't say no to you. I'm so fucking blue, whatever, because you're actually saying something other than the chorus. Then you get to the B part, and that's when you repeat the lines, you see, because then the B part acts as a bridge, but it's playing the chorus in the song. So it's actually an A, B, A, C section, but the C section is back on B. So the chorus is the A section. You guys, this is crazy songwriting. Okay, now, when you get to Arthur, no, just kidding.
I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm sorry. It's like if you were. I didn't know if you were going to go. To be fair, the Christopher Cross song.
To be fair, you haven't seen Letterkenny.
I have seen Letterkenny, but not enough to to join you in this moment.
Keep going. It's gonna. You haven't hit the episode yet because it's in every episode from that one on. When someone goes, to be fair, you go, to be fair, to be fair, to be fair. They start singing it like it doesn't stop. Okay, go ahead.
There's
to be fair.
That's also like they do that in Psych as well, which is one of my favorite shows. That's a wait for it though, like a Barney kind of ism from How I Met Your Mother. Anyway, the banger part of the best that you can do, Arthur's theme, is the chorus. It's, I mean, granted, he's telling a story and he's tying it into the movie, but that chorus probably existed before the film. I do want to say, and
absolutely.
So when I don't remember who directed, or Sir John Gielgud descended from his throne upon high and called him, I was like, I'm in this film, Christopher, and I require a song from you for a piece regarding Dudley Moore, And then Chris Cross goes, fuck it, I got 8 minutes to write the verses. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the song sounds to me, is that like I've had this chorus for years and I know it. So he just kind of was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's going to be a hit. Who cares? It's me.
But let's break that down. By the way, Steve Gordon is who directed
Thank
Arthur.
You very much.
What a mensch. But no. Anyway, but when you get to the chorus, I love this. So, when you get caught between the moon and New York City. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
You're caught between the moon and New York City.
You're flying, baby.
What
You're
does that
flying.
mean?
You are on all the cocaine today.
I know it's crazy, but it's true. Chris, what's true? What part of that is true? What part of it is crazy? You didn't tell me what's happening when you get caught between the moon. Like if I were to break this down in a songwriting class, I'd be like, I would totally rip this student apart. Okay, I know it's crazy, but it's true. What's true?
Yeah.
Well, when you get caught between the moon and New York City. No, what part of that is true? Do you have an answer?
I do not have an answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, let's go to the next part of it. If you get caught between the moon and New York City, Well, Stu, the best that you can do. And then the girls in the back go, the best that you can do. And then I say, the best that you can do is fall in love. I'd let that part go. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is fall in love. That makes sense.
It just goes to show that, nothing we're talking about matters.
I don't think AI would write that. I don't think AI could write that.
I agree.
because it's nonsensical.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. It wouldn't rip that off.
Yeah, you guys.
AI would be like, oh God, they're gonna know I'm AI if I write when you get caught between the moon and New York City.
There's a band for I remember they're European. I think they're called Power Solo. They have a song called Boom Baba Dooba Daba. And the whole song is just these two guys going boom baba dooba daba boom baba dooba daba boom baba dooba daba boom baba dooba for the entire song and some crazy guitar riffs in between. And I think about how much I love that song and I love the video, and it used to be a breathing exercise for my vocal students. It's your job is to do this entire, I think it's a 16-bar verse in one breath. and they're like, oh God, And so that's how I was using it. But the thought of a computer trying to write that song is just hilarious to me. That's part of some of the things I love is there's David Bowie songs I think about and I go, there's no fucking way a computer would ever be able to write this.
Sting.
Absolutely.
Half of the lines is Sting, humiliating kick in the crotch. There is no way AI would GPT that out for you.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no way. Yeah. And I mean, so, all right. So when we translate that to what we're talking about for people listening instead of us having a conversation, because barely people might be listening to this, what that means is just write something it's okay if you play outside of the line of a perfect lyric. Yeah. You are not a top line country writer.
Yeah.
If you're writing for yourself, write something kind of cool in your own voice like this. And it may turn out to be a hit song in a movie with Dudley Moore.
I mean, it'd be that'd be an AI generated Dudley Moore at this point, but
Yeah, totally. By the way, people, when you were just going the bop baba, what's that song
Boom
called again?
Baba Dooba Daba.
Boom Baba Dooba Daba.
Yeah. The band is called
Daba?
Power Solo, one word. Boom Baba Dooba Daba.
Boom Baba Dooba Daba.
It's a great enunciation lesson.
Yeah, it is. There are some people listening to this who are screaming at the audio going, Barbara's Rabba Barbara Boobar, which is the Rhubarb Barbara dance song in German on TikTok. It's taken over TikTok right now. It's part of TikTok. Wow. It's the Barbara Rhubarb. It's a tongue twister in German about Barbara's rhubarb pie.
Is that a euphemism?
I just want you to know that all you people screaming, I see you. I've heard this song. That song will get stuck in your fucking head so hard.
I don't want it to.
I don't either. I swipe up because I know someone who has sent it to me. I'm like, don't send that to me. Now TikTok knows.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's not good.
Speaking of the talks.
Yeah.
Does Universal Music Group still have their music off of there? Because we haven't talked about that in a while. I'm curious what's going on there because we haven't talked about it in a bit.
A deal has been struck.
Oh.
UMG is back.
I'm back.
Guess who's back? Yeah.
Ooh, I'm curious what this.
Guess who called it? Me.
Yeah. You can't have that. Yeah. Who blinked?
But no, why would... Okay, so you're an international conglomerate. Yeah. Why the fuck would you put your music back on an app that was just voted by the Congress to be banned in America? If you think it's going to actually be banned, why would you put your music back on?
So... who blinked?
Well, it's actually a deal with ByteDance.
There you go.
It's a deal all okay. But honestly, it matters most in America. Mm-hmm. People didn't make too much of a deal about this. The label that Taylor is releasing music on is ultimately, I think it's Republic, but it's ultimately Universal Music. Okay? Yeah. When Taylor was doing this release for the Tortured Poets Department, she was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fucking put my music on there and fuck you. Mm. She basically overstepped Universal and went, yeah, whatever you guys are doing, that's fine. But like, I account for 18% of the music industry, and so I'm going to go ahead and put this on there.
Yeah.
No one said much about it. She just did it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that was basically a clear indicator that Universal was already in pretty deep talks.
Yeah.
Look, they got a better rate, I think. It extends the clock out to what Sony and Warner are going to do. Okay, music business talk. So it extends the clock out to what they're going to do for Most Favored Nations, which means that they have to match the same deal that Universal does. But Universal, Lucien Grange put some things in there that basically in the deal. I haven't seen the deal. Most people haven't. No one has. But it's outlined in a letter to Universal Music Group holders. And it basically is remuneration, which is money. Yeah. That's like how much they're getting paid for usage. And then, but there's also supposed to be guidelines. It's really more of a guideline on AI shit.
Yeah.
On basically user-generated AI shit. Now, I didn't see a carve-out for whether that means sped up, slow down shit. Yeah. Because that is a huge part of TikTok sound, TikTok sounds. So they say they have protections built in. We'll see. I think it was basically Universal just realizing we've made our point. Yeah. It's hurting our artists. And by the way, it wasn't just hurting Universal signed artists. It was hurting people who have like a co-write with a Universal distributed artist. Like there were people that like they were making real money off of, they were starting to make money off of like one song. It's not like you know who they are, but they have a Universal release. And then they got the rug pulled out from under them. And I think all of them bitching about it. Yeah. Like other big artists, they have a catalog that's generating wealth, or they're going on tour, or they have merch sales or whatever. But some of these smaller artists that had like little periphery stuff, they were really getting hurt. And for no good fucking reason, really. It was like, who are you protecting here? Like, you know, and so I think that what will be interesting is that this is like a dare to Sony and Warner on whether or not they're going to match the rate.
Oh, interesting.
Whether ByteDance will match the rate for Universal. Yeah. Because technically they should. Now, the good thing is that this may actually raise all boats. A lot of people said when Universal took their music off, ooh, this is a chance for independent music to become more sounds. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was never that. Like your shit's not going to be used as much as, you know, Universal Artist A. It's just not.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more, but not significantly. But honestly, if the rates are going that way for Universal and for Warner and Sony, the usage rates for user-generated content, if, like, you all understand how you get paid on TikTok, right? It's not per usage. It's per new video created with your sound. This is why a lot of independent artists don't get it. They're like, oh, I have 1 million views on this. I should be getting tons of money. That's not how it gets paid. You have one video.
Yeah.
If you have 30,000 people creating videos using your sound, that's when you get money.
Yeah.
And like I have a few people on the publishing side that have had music generated. Like we've generated some good money from TikTok, but it's based on the videos that you're created using your sound, not how many times your sound is listened to, which is an issue. Yeah, because that's a usage. Yeah, you know. But anyway, UMG is back, and no one's gonna really like. You know, the might be a box in blueberry. That's probably going to come back. There's a few like hardcore sounds that have been used on TikTok for very famous creators that were muted. Yeah. That's going to come back, and that's a good thing.
I've always found it interesting, like how some of these, like I find I get people that are like, why did my song get muted on Facebook? Like, because the computer's stupid sometimes. That's why, because, you know, if it's your song and your original composition and you posted a video of you doing it, sometimes the computer's stupid.
And also, God, this is just a longer discussion. And also that means that you haven't signed the Facebook distribution agreement on Harry Fox Agency as a music publisher. It means that you are fucking it up with the hat that you should be wearing as a music publisher. And I know that most people are like, well, but I don't understand why it's the music I created. I would like, yeah, okay. You just don't understand how it works. That's okay. You can just say I don't understand.
I forgot about that.
It's a longer conversation.
Much like a whole. We don't want to do that right now. Let's not do that right now.
We should get into Sing of the Week, right, Kelsey? What's your Sync of the Week? Wow, Double Birds. I haven't seen that show. It's Double Birds. Must be on Hulu. Oh, it's on the Cock, is it? Okay. Well, she'll get back to us.
It's on the Cock, where they're exclusively syncing Daryl Hall's D. No, I'm just kidding.
Can't get next to you.
Oh, dear. Do you want to go?
Don't know what to do.
Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I love the color blue.
Oh, my God. You're
and I'm running right through.
This is going to be exhausting today, isn't it?
Right after number one's two. I mean, like, you just keep going.
My name is
Just keep rhyming them, Daryl. It's okay. No one cares.
My name is Stu.
Yeah, why don't you go?
Okay.
Do you want me to go? I'll
okay,
go.
You go. You go. Finally go.
Okay,
go. You go.
I watched John Mulaney's Everybody's in L.A. on Netflix. Netflix is coming out with a bunch of live programming.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
I'm gearing up for the Mike Tyson fight, July 20th.
Yes.
Because I hope he beats that little boy's ass. I'm not even going to be nice about it. I do. I hope that kid gets knocked back into yesterday. I hope he never gets to box again. And that'd be a win for all Gen X, and we'll all get our money back for all the money he stole from us in the 80s. But yeah, so there's that. But John Mulaney has a really, first of all, I think we need to support John Mulaney and his sobriety. He's brilliant. He's always been brilliant, but now more so than ever.
Yeah.
Anything that John Mulaney does, let's all support it and let him know, dude, this is the best work you've ever done.
Yes.
You didn't need all those pills. You didn't need all that stuff. It's okay. You were good without it. You were good with it, but you're even better as a father and married to Olivia Munn. And look at you after rehab. And I love your hair. I want him to know I love him now more so than ever, so that he never goes back. We don't need a John Belushi situation again. We don't need that shit. So, but having said that, this is a weird fucking show. It's a live show. It's basically him kind of doing it's an ode to LA. It's literally a show about LA and everything in LA. Yeah. And it's kind of like a talk show in a way. It has some pre-done skits in it. He's doing it during Netflix as a joke, which means that like every major comedian in the world is in LA over this week. So he can pull them all in for stuff.
Gotcha.
And so it's about LA. I don't know how it's playing overseas. I mean, I lived in LA, so I know a lot of it. But like when he's talking about, no one goes to downtown LA. I mean, I know the joke. And I don't know. Maybe people do. I don't know if they do. But anyway, the song used to open it was "To Live and Die in L.A." by Wang Chung.
Fantastic.
And it's a great placement. And it kind of, look, it's not their best known song. Everybody Wang Chung Tonight is. And I think most kids would not know this song. It's from a movie called "To Live and Die in L.A." Yep. Not a bad movie, but the song is pretty fucking good, I think. The song holds up. And I was most interested about whether or not they were having to pay full boat on this for Sync, because it's supposed to be a live show. Yeah. And so this can be considered ephemeral use because it's a live show. Yeah. I know how much syncs are on Netflix for like if you're doing a comedy special on Netflix and you want to clear a song, I can just tell you it's 50 to 60. Yeah. So there you go. Everybody wants numbers. There you go. There's your fucking number.
There's your fucking numbers.
You want a good song? Yeah. That's how much Segura paid for Sledgehammer. So there you go.
There you go.
And so Sometimes people choose to pay for it and choose to not. But that is a show that will be recorded and then played over and over and over. So it's locked.
Yeah.
Right? However, this is supposed to be live and never seen again. Well, it isn't. It was live and it's still there.
Yeah.
So you can go see the first episode from last Friday, but it's happening all 5 nights of this week.
Oh, wow.
So when you hear this episode on Wednesday, there will still be 2 nights of it. And it's got a ton of stars on it, ton of people. And it's John Mulaney, and he's funny. Yeah. So there you go. To Live and Die in L.A. But if you don't know that song, you should go YouTube that song. To Live and Die in L.A. is, at the time, I think it was 86, something like that. At the time it was done, it is a very, like, deep synth-driven song, but it's very relaxed and what's the right word for it? Like at the time, there was a lot of boop 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 that kind of synth kind of music. Boop,
sample
boop,
that
boop,
immediately.
Boop 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 boop. Yeah, or there was bow bow. Oh, there was that kind of shit going on. This is a very like respectful, like aged synth song. It's very it's a like I think if you listen to it now, people would be like, "Oh shit, that's synthcore. Yeah, that's really good." Nice. It is dark, sort of a dark song in a way. And so I would check it out. To Live and Die in L.A. Wang Chung,
very nice.
John Mulaney. Everybody's in L.A.
Very nice. That's a solid choice. I'll have to catch up. Mine is I spent the weekend on the Apple TV. And I believe I sent you a message when I watched Argyle, which I very much enjoyed. It was fun. It was silly. It is ridiculous. It is bombastic. And the first hour plays kind of like a Fast and Furious movie. And it's very fun. And the soundtrack has got, it's kind of like this, it plays like kind of a 70s thing at first. You got your Barry White, you got your My First, My Last, My Everything, you got that kind of stuff, like that kind of vibe. But there was a scene in the middle of it with, where, the lead's, getting a little confused, shall we say. And there was a song called, it's called Electric Energy. And it was like this sweet, like disco funk, like banger a tune. It like kind of reminded me of Boogie Wonderland kind of a little bit, but I was like, I've never heard this. What the fuck is this? So I go into the IMDb's, and it turns out that it is an original piece. It looks like it was written for the film by Gary Barlow and director Matthew Vaughn, along with Stuart Price, Lauren Balfe, and performed by Ariana DeBose for that movie. And it was it showed up a couple times throughout the film. But I was really the way that it was performed, like the way that it came out, I was like, it's a delightful Sam Rockwell vehicle. And I
mean, the whole movie, weren't you just like, when's Sam Rockwell going to dance?
When's he going to dance? And he did. Don't worry.
And he
Whirly
did.
Bird. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
And it's very...
Which is just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And so, we spent the whole time just fucking laughing. It is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie. There's really nothing serious about it. There's no real stakes involved.
Well, the cat.
I mean, definitely the cat for sure. But it's a really fun film, and that who is the soup on that with Danny Waring, supervisor on that.
Very nice,
very nice. And
can I give you a little bit of additional information?
I would
on that?
fucking love it if you would explain it me.
Ariana DeBose, right? Also on that, Boy George and Nile Rodgers.
Really?
So that's where
I'm getting the disco vibe for sure. Nile Rodgers right away.
There is some Nile Rodgers on that, and Boy George is on it too. What did you think about the Beatles?
Ooh, yeah, the
being used.
It was I mean, speaking of 50, 60 grand for fucking Netflix, that was a hell of a get, and it probably cost a fucking heap.
Yeah, so it's Now and Then is the song that is placed on it. And this is why I laid out. I was going to pick that song to talk about on Argyle. But when you were like, I'm watching Argyle, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll lay out. So, because Yeah, it's because we know this is some AI shit going on.
The last
with John's
Beatles
vocals.
song, that kind of stuff.
A demo that was recorded in the 70s, and then it becomes a Beatles song later on. Peter Jackson, all that. However, this is the first placement that I know from.
Yeah.
And it was a very prominent placement in the film.
I'm not entirely sure it fit the film at all.
It doesn't.
It didn't fit at all. It was just like, we got a Beatles song.
That's all it was like, I want a Beatles song.
Yeah.
Get me that Beatles song that's never been used. Yeah. And I don't even know what like the publishing, like, I don't even know how that one works.
It's curious.
I don't know if I have enough time to even get into it.
Yeah.
But that was a mind-blowing, like, I don't know why that was used other than it is a Beatles song, and if you know, you know.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know that Argyle was rumored to be... Okay, so... You ready?
Yeah.
You guys. Okay.
You guys.
Go ahead. Everybody's out of the room? Okay. You guys. So here's what it was. So Argyle is a movie about an unknown author who writes about like an MI5 super secret agent kind of thing. And then her books come to life, and then she gets stuck inside of the life of those books. Okay. It was long rumored that this is actually Taylor Swift. That Taylor Swift wrote the book that was under a nom de plume, and that book was actually her and her cat and the whole thing, and that she couldn't really be involved in it, and so she wrote it about somebody else, being an anonymous author writing about this thing that ended up being the thing that ended up being a movie picked up about a book being about a book about a movie. Oh my God, I love Swifties when they get into conspiracies.
I love conspiracy theories.
Later on, two New Zealand guys or Australian guys said, no, we wrote it. But of course, that's what they would say if Taylor did. So anyway, but the falling through the ice thing.
Just say that.
That's actually a Taylor
That's
Swift
right.
thing. Anyway,
does she have a secret lair in a volcano somewhere, and she's just like pulling strings?
Fucking course she does. Yeah, it's in Long Island.
Long Island volcano chain. All right.
Let's get into a little email and questions here. I think this is important for us to bring up after what we've talked about over the last few weeks. Do not listen to experts. Don't listen to us don't take any advice, okay? Yeah. That's the headline on this part. Don't take my advice. Don't take Stu's advice. Do the opposite. Do whatever the fuck you want to. You want to release music on Monday? Fine. You don't do pre-production? Fine. You want to promote your album? That's fine. We want you to know the reason why we give advice, the advice that we do, is based on what we've seen and our experiences and best practices. And why we are giving that to you, I wanted to nail this down a little bit. The reason why we are giving this advice to you is so you don't waste money or time. These are the quickest, best chances you have of getting a foothold in the industry and having a long career. Okay. But if you want to just like throw it against the wall and see if it sticks, fine.
Yeah.
Like, we're telling you this stuff so that you don't waste money or time. So that you don't come back later on and be like, okay, I was kind of a fool. What is the best way to do this? We're telling you this because of hundreds, maybe thousands of other artists who have done it this way. And there are certain ways to promote your music, and there are certain days to do it, and there are certain ways to record your music, and there are certain ways to package your music, certain ways to write songs. But if you don't want to do any of that, that's fine. Write a 9-minute song that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
Do that thing where the chorus is nowhere to be found and it's all verses. Fine. I'm okay with that. If you want to be a personable, like, artist in your own right, and you think you have a vision of how it should go, fight for that shit. Fight for that shit. I'm just saying, we're just telling you these things to help you. I just want people to understand the reason why we give you this advice isn't because we want to be proven right. We don't make any money off of it. We don't really care. Like, I mean, I don't really care whether you make it or not. I don't. I want to be clear about that. I care about whether or not you write a great song. I want great music. But will the world go on if your band doesn't make it? Absolutely. Yeah. No one's going to care. At the end of all of this, nobody really cares. This is all kind of just pissing in the wind. But for those of you who really, really want a long career in this, that's what we're trying to do is maybe you can make a little more money on this release. Maybe you can get more fans. Maybe you can meet the right people. Maybe you can start producing on your own. Maybe, and then the next record, you get better at it. That's why we're telling you this. It's not so that you can get a major label deal. It's not so that you can be, somebody that everybody talks about. That's really not why. It's to save you the heartbreak. Because we've made those mistakes. We've made those mistakes before.
Absolutely. We've made those mistakes, but we've also done a lot of these things for other artists and seen it work.
Yes.
And that's really there's a proof of concept here for what we've done with regards to that stuff. But again, you're right. I don't, if you decide that you want to have a career that you do this thing, if you're happy with it and you believe in it and you think it's the greatest shit in the world, fucking do it as you see fit. But what you can do, if you write that 9-minute song with no choruses, right? And it's just a series of shifting, sections in various time signatures and BPMs. It's a System of a Down fever dream. Like that's great. The things we're telling you to do or suggesting you do, they're gentle suggestions. There's no rules. I'm just kidding. There are rules.
It's really more of a guideline.
But these things will, in some way, actually can be used to your advantage, right? Because out there somewhere is a music fan that is looking for exactly what you're providing. And if you give your music the best chance to be heard, you will find that fan.
And that goes along with a lot of what we talk about is you are not releasing music to fans. Yes. You're releasing music to the machine, and we're just telling you we know how the machine works. You may have the coolest song ever. We're trying to help you to find those niche fans that you're looking for. It may even be the weird stuff. It may even be dwarf metal. It may be, we're not just talking about pop music. We're not talking just about that stuff. These are all concepts that will help you find whomever might be interested in your shit. But again, if you want to, I know the reason why this comes up is I get a lot of shit for being, all music business. Where's the art? I'm like, the art is what you do. Mm-hmm. There is some music business around that. There is a reason why there aren't a whole lot of 7.5-minute songs by heart. There just is. There's a reason for that. And so you may think that you're going to rewrite the rules of music, and God bless you, I hope you do. Yeah. I hope you do. I constantly, when I do call outs sometimes, I am begging people for something I've never heard before. And I've done it in some of those contests and some of the judging things I have to do. I tell them surprise the fuck out of me. I don't care if it sounds like anything. In fact, I want it to not sound like anything I've ever heard, because the death knell is what a lot of you are doing is what everyone else has done. You're just doing it worse. And so if you my point is that if you're gonna promote your music, do it right, or don't. Yeah. Don't promote it. But don't tell me, well, I think the best way to promote it is one video a month. Okay, you're wrong, but you can believe that. Yeah. But I'm just telling you, if you're gonna do it a certain way, if you're gonna try to write a song that you want millions of people to listen to, well, the chances are it can't be 7 minutes long. The chances are you're gonna have to reach people 10 or more times before they give a full listen to it. The chances are you're gonna have to have 3 or more songs for them to listen to before they purchase anything from you. The chances are you're gonna have to have a personal story behind it before they buy a concert ticket. These are all just normal things in the world. We're not making it up.
That's called marketing.
But if you want to be that crazy artist in your basement that's creating things outside of the rules, that's putting it out, I want you to feel comfortable doing that. We are in no way saying you shouldn't do that. Go ahead and do that, because you might be that crazed professional that can do it that way, and the world may find you. But chances are probably not.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
But here's the thing: is what do you have to lose by trying what we're suggesting?
That's right.
What do you have to lose?
Well, yeah, a little sanity.
Maybe a little bit of sanity, but also you will we.
But you're already there if you're a musician.
Yeah, you're already nuts. It's again like you can do all of the things and release on a Tuesday, or you can do all of the things and release on Friday, 10:01 p.m. Thursday night in Colorado for 12:01 a.m. New York
Which was
time.
actually put in 6 weeks ago.
Yep, exactly. Just did this with somebody recently. And
that's the way I had to explain it to somebody. Well, you say release music on Friday. I was like, no. Well, no, isn't that what you said? And I was like, no, it's actually Thursday night, East Coast. And I was like, but that's actually not true. You're actually releasing it 6 weeks before that.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. When do I release it? I was like, well, you actually need to plan it 3 months before that.
Again, do it.
If you care. If you care.
And if you don't, if you just want to make... Like, I ask that question of people when they're making a record with me, is like, what are you looking for here? What do you want? Do you want to increase your visibility on streaming platforms? Or do you just want to make a great record that makes you happy and you put it up and your grandma says, good job, kid? Like, and both are fine. You can do both things. Do whatever you want. It makes sense to you. But if you want to play in the music industry and have a long musical career and to continue creating and have the machine kind of perpetuate itself a certain time, you really want to learn the rules of the game. Because, as you said, it was one of the best things I think I've ever read that you wrote was music creation is not a competition, but the music business absolutely is. Yeah. So you got to learn the rules of the game and play it.
And those who understand that are winning, and those who don't are whining.
Oh, there's the other one. I forgot about that line. That was the fucking sexy drop.
That didn't fit on the meme. Yeah, that didn't fit on the meme.
By the way, I had one of the ladies we took to the dwarf metal band sent me the 4 horsemen of European power metal, and those were Tanks, Party Pirates, Space Scotland, and Catholic Werewolves, which I got very excited about. I haven't heard any music about Catholic Werewolves, so if you really want to fuck with the rules, I want to hear music about Catholic Werewolves now.
Yes.
Those were
absolutely
Tanks, Party Pirates, Space Scotland, and Catholic Werewolves. You're welcome, everybody.
Oh, I love it. Catholic Werewolves.
Werewolves are the way to go.
You can email us, 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com.
We want your Catholic Werewolf songs.
All right, let's wrap this sucker up, Kelsey. Send us all your Catholic Werewolf songs to 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. You can follow us anywhere you follow people at 2ShotsMusicPod. That's the number 2ShotsMusicPod. Anywhere you follow people. We're over there on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter. Whatever people call it, X. Fuck you. We're also on Facebook if you care about that. But that's all right. You can check out StuMillerMusic.com for all your StuMillerMusic.com needs. He's probably really busy. He's got 3 records in the...
Yeah, over the next 3 months, that's what I'm doing is those 3 records.
Yeah. We really appreciate all of you on YouTube. A lot of people over on YouTube right now, and thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. The people who listen to us on Spotify, all 3 of you, we really appreciate you. Remember to rate and subscribe. Give us 5 stars over there on Apple Music. Spotify does not like our podcast. That's okay.
That's okay. We don't.
That's okay. It's not for you.
It's okay.
It's not for you.
I know. We're telling you how to beat their rules. So it's.
We are. Yeah. It's okay. All right, until we talk to you next time, you guys. Hey, write that 7-minute song about Catholic Werewolves.
I want to fucking hear it. I want to hear it now.
And put it out on Tuesday and send it to me with an attachment so I'll never fucking hear it. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Take care of yourself and write a great song. Talk to you next time. Love you. Goodbye.